Okay, here we have a Olympia, very similar to yours. It's a SM3. It's got a couple parts taken off right now, but we're going to use it as a perfect example of how to fix yours. What you should have is a towel to cover the surface you're working on, just because you don't want to scratch your table or your machine. Really all you need, I have a bunch of tools out here, but is a pair of needle nose pliers and a screwdriver. Mainly the screwdriver. And one piece of string, twine. I use sewing thread, but if you use sewing thread, you might want to triple it up. So if you use that, I'll use like 9 feet. I use a special kind though. Okay, so your problem is your line, here's the picture you sent me, fell off its wheel, and it looks like it's tangled up underneath. So how this works, here's my line. It's not tangled yet. We're going to tangle it up though, so I can show you how to take it apart, fix it. There's the line. Now here's a little bar. What that does is it loosens this spring. Better pointer. Right here, way back there, which is fine. And this is connected to the line that goes all the way across to about right here right now. What we'll do is yours can't go anywhere from here and over. That's it, if I read the emails correctly. What we need to be able to do is get it just over here far enough. All the way would be great, but just enough, because what happens is we have our connection piece right here. Here's the line, here's the piece it connects to. Now that runs all the way across this. Once we get that going, we'll be able to look up here and see it. We'll be able to untangle it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get this thing started. Pull it around its back. Let's see. And see this lever right here? I'll show you. We're going to move it. Now watch this spring back here. That's how you loosen the spring, right off the bat. And do that all the way until that thing stops going. And you can see my string drop. It's going to loosen. It's going to tangle itself up. It's not even funny. There it goes. You can even hit it a few times to unwind it. If yours is very, very stuck under there, you might have to hit it a few extra times and try to untangle it a little bit while you're working down there. Because what we need it to do is give you just enough slack to move this thing over. So I have just enough slack now, so I'm going to move this over. I'm going to lift this up. And if this isn't tight, I'm going to take it off. Usually you pop it right off with your fingers, but I'm holding a camera off. So I'm going to pull that off. Be careful when you do that. You're going to take your string. You're going to fold it in half. And you're going to string it up like this. So here's the motion that we got to do now. Make sure that stays connected. I'm going to drop this. And now I have this piece on a nice long thread. So now we're going to fish that through the whole side. Let me set this up real quick. Now you can see in there what we're going to be working with. This wheel. Get nice and close. So remember, we're finding out, let me use a screwdriver, where the line is. We're going to grab that line. See? Now I have it. But remember, my hand is also going to be way on this side, holding on to that piece still. So I'm going to pull it all the way through. Sometimes it gets stuck on things, especially from being upside down, but if it does get stuck, A lot of times all it is a matter of hitting the shift button, lifting that carriage, and it unstucks itself because it gets stuck behind here, behind this bar right here. But when you lift it, it manages to unstick itself usually. Now I pull it all the way through. See how I still have my thread on it? I'm going to take that thread, I'm going to give it a little bit of length, I'm going to set it right here because we're going to need that later. Now, I got real lucky, it's not tangled up. Normally, it's going to be tangled all down here, all over the place, and if you have this end, it's okay to pull on it just a little bit to see if it's moving. Now, lift the typewriter up, and you know that same lever we used to loosen it? You're going to be flipping it back and forth. A lot of times that'll help you get the rest of what you need. So now mine is just ridiculously loose. Okay, so once I have that portion done, I start winding it up a little bit. Make sure the line stays on there, so you got to keep it tight. When you wind it, it should automatically tighten. You're going to wind it until it goes all the way down. And see how it's staying tight now? All the way down. I'm still going. Now what I'm going to try to do is get it tight enough to where it's not going to fall off my wheel, but I can connect it somewhere. So sometimes, once I get it, I'm going to hold it out like this. Once I get it low enough, I'm going to take my screwdriver. If you look real close, this mechanism on here, see, I'll move that spring for you. Right here, you put your screwdriver in there, you're going to push it forward. Sometimes it's easier than it looks. I mean, sometimes it's harder. But once you get a couple extra winds in there, it's going to tighten this up. Take this very bottom hole and connect it on there. Make sure it's still tight, because if it's not, it's going to fall off this wheel and you have to start all over again. Tighten it up a couple extra times. It's going to be pretty tight now. Don't go too many times. You don't want to break it. I haven't had one break, but I don't know where we can get parts like that. So what you're going to do is take it off that hook again. You can do it any way you want, but I'm going to show you. And you're going to just re-loop it, keep it taut. Okay? Now we're going to go back to the other side. I'm going to pull that string through. And make sure you hold it still with your left hand so it doesn't fall off that wheel. Now you can see it. See it? How I got it there? Now, see my string still caught on it and I got it over here. Should use two hands, but for the sake of taking this video, I can't. I'm going to pull it all the way through. Now again, if it gets caught or not coming through, sometimes you got to hit that shift key. Make that thing go up and down. Alright, so now, see how I have it through here? I'm going to take the typewriter, put it back on its back, and I'm going to reconnect it to its spot. Use your hands for this because I've done this so many times. I can do it. No. I'd leave the string on it until it's completely on. And once it's on all the way, it should click a little bit. There we go. Clicked. Now it works. Now remember, even if you loosened it up all the way on the bottom, you may still not be able to move your carriage because it's so caught up in itself. So you're going to have to untangle it down here by using this lever and untwisting it, maybe taking the screwdriver underneath it and pulling it from underneath here, up top, wherever it's caught. And on yours, it looks like it's underneath it. But if you hit that lever, it should help loosen it, and it could give you some length. Just be very careful when you do it, and don't let go of the string. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up.